sent me a meme today that was horribly wrong, and it was like, here at Ford, we're proud of our founder, Henry Ford. And then there was the guy who was like, here at Volkswagen, like looking the other way. And I was like, I need to tell you something about Henry Ford, my friend. And he started a magazine called The International Jew.
Did it sell well?
Unfortunately.
Was it about how great?
Yeah, I would imagine that it like failed, and then he's like, "Oh, I guess I'm getting into cars."
Yeah.
the Jew thing
But
isn't
like
taking
when I
off.
hear that magazine, I think it's like for the Jew on the go.
Like it's Mr.
Right.
Like it's like GQ magazine, but for Jews.
Well, you know what? It's
same
the
thing,
word
literally.
the. The word the is what does it. If it was International Jew magazine, you could sort of see that as being an optimist by
Jew
Jews
hunter.
or Jews. It's
Like if it was
the
if it was
international Jew,
if it was
it's
like
ooh.
a rabbi with like gold chains and like drinking scotch and like a cigar, that would be international. That'd be like GQ.
right.
International Jew.
Yeah. Like it's like a rabbi, but in Venice. You know, like in the canals, like really having a nice time. That's
75 years in a row, the rabbi on the cover is wearing the same outfit because rabbis do that.
Yeah.
It was funny when you led into that. I was like, oh, he's clearly going to have the problem with the founder of Volkswagen.
Yeah.
Where they're like, and our founder, Mr. Volkswagen. A very reclusive man, you know.
Mr. Volkswagen.
Certainly not some other fellow.
No, not the other founder. We need a people's car. What? What's that, sir?
People's car.
What's that, sir?
See, this goes back to my thing about like bad people can have good ideas. And it's foolish for us to stick our head in the sand, okay?
Of course.
Hitler, for
Henry
example,
Ford invented the automobile assembly line while also
and charcoal.
using the printing press to publish the International Jew.
Look,
Two great ideas.
first of all, the man was
press.
he was just trying to get the word out. Let's be honest here. And second of all, he also invented charcoal, which everybody forgets. I'm very big on charcoal. I like the charcoal grill. I got some
I
charcoal
feel
outside.
like charcoal was invented before him.
I think
No,
I
no.
invent it every time I go camping.
No,
maybe it was just the briquette. Maybe it was just the quick
it was
light
the briquette.
match.
Well, see, he had so many of the so much leftover like junk wood from making the cars, and he didn't know what to do with it because there's all these like burn ends and scraps and stuff, and he marketed it as charcoal.
burn ends.
Love
Someone
it.
should have told him that charcoal is flammable. Still use it.
Like the Jew. No, what?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
But the charcoal catches faster. And then
Would you like
he
to
also
see
does
my
a
bar
German
mitzvah
accent.
bracelet? It's right
Oh
here.
wow,
There you go.
that's not a
11, 12,
medical.
11/12/94, baby.
Did you
Date
make
on the
bank on your bar mitzvah, Matt?
I thought you were allergic.
Yeah. Have I never told you that story?
It
I
says
did
no
make
pork.
bank on my
No.
bar mitzvah.
I don't think so.
How was the bar?
I was not really into being Jewish when I was younger.
Hmm.
Like I was like not because like I whatever. I wasn't like self-loathing, but it was like when I got sent to Hebrew school when I was like 8, I was like, why does an all-knowing God not understand English? I was that level of inquisitive that religious leaders really don't like.
Right.
They're not into that.
They just
at
want you to
all.
roll with it.
Yeah. And so I didn't really want to have bar mitzvah. I thought it was dumb. I still think it's kind of dumb, but eventually my dad was like, listen, if you do this, for your mom, because my mom is more Jewish than my dad. My dad doesn't really give a shit. He goes, if you do this for your mom, it'll really make your mother happy. And once you're a man, after the ceremony, I will never make you go to temple again if you don't want to. You will have the choice. You'll never have to go back if you don't want to. And also, we're going to have a party. We're going to invite all, my friends. They're all going to give you money.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, deal. And we had the party, and I got a lot of money. I really did. And I couldn't touch it until I was 18. And it's a good thing, too, because when I was 13, I wanted a computer with a Pentium processor. And I would have fucking spent all of it on that shit. And ended up, I ended up being able to buy a car when I was 18.
Nice.
And it was a nice car. I took out all the money and bought a Corvette.
So
Jesus Christ, that's way better than the birthday.
It was. And and my mom got really pissed when I came home with this Corvette, and my dad stood up for me, and he was like, no, he did the bar mitzvah. He got the money. He didn't touch it until he was 18. And then he said, I will cover the insurance for 6 months. And then you're fucking on your own covering the insurance for this fucking thing. 18-year-old with a red Corvette. But yeah, I actually did get a bunch of money for it.
I've thought about
That's
it.
awesome.
So Jewish kids get a lot of money at 13 years old for their bar mitzvah.
Some
Christian
do,
kids,
not all do, but some
right?
do, yeah.
Christian kids get less money, but they get it at like 2 months old for their christening.
Right.
So the move is when you're 2 months old, invest it wisely.
Buy
then,
Bitcoin at 2 months old. That's
right. Yeah. You just make some smart decisions at 2 months. And then by the time you're 18, the money can be roughly equivalent.
Wait, was I supposed to get christening money?
I was sitting here thinking the same shit. I was like, wait,
really?
I didn't get a dime of so-called christening cash.
Both our kids
I wasn't
got
even
like
baptized. I don't know anything about this.
$1,300 or so for christening. And
yeah, if you rolled that into
Hush
10
for a
years,
second.
12 years of
this is important life advice. So both our kids got like $1,000, $1,300 for their christening money. And that is what we use to start their college accounts. And it just grows from there. So if you're new parents, like so many of our listeners, do that.
Dummies.
Kick off your kids' college accounts with whatever money you get in the christening as gifts.
Yeah, just be Christian and Jewish.
Wrap it up, you
Capitalize.
tards. I've met half of you. Don't you? No. No.
But then there's also the other side of it, where once you're like an adult, now Matt probably feels like pressured for when your friends are having their bar mitzvahs or bat mitzvahs that you're like, I don't want to be cheap. I got to throw them a decent amount, right?
Well, I don't have any friends who have kids old enough yet, but I will not be stingy when it comes to that. I will be a heavy hitter. I got, where this bar mitzvah, my dad was in the fashion business. He was, and this bracelet was actually a gift from Ralph Lauren, which was pretty cool. There was some heavy hitters at my bar mitzvah. My it's like you're the kids you go to school with, and then your parents' friends. And my parents' friends they had some heavy hitters up in that bitch.
Did they have a big party for you?
We had a pretty big party. It seemed really baller at the time. But one of my grandparents, my last grandparent, passed away 2 years ago, and I got her copy of my bar mitzvah album was sent to me, and I looked through the pictures. It turns out not that baller, honestly. I mean, it was not as baller in hindsight as I really thought it was at the time.
Everything looked bigger back then.
There was a couple. Was all it?
Everything looked bigger back then.
Right. My theme was sailing. I couldn't have been whiter. I was the whitest person ever.
Sailing
themed bar mitzvah. Yeah. But there was some kids who I went to school with where I remember them being fucking crazy. I mean, whole set pieces. One was a place called Cipriani in New York City, which, if you've ever heard of it, is like a seriously baller spot on 42nd Street. One was at the Rainbow Room, which is above Rockefeller Center with the revolving, center fucking thing. I mean, there was some serious heavy hitters. I went to school with the kids of some really terrible people. Like I went to school with Annie and David Sackler. You might know their father, Richard.
Yes, they love pushing opium into the country.
Who was the OxyContin guy. There's now that show Dope Sick about him on Hulu, which I can't recommend highly enough. It's very depressing, but very good. Yeah. And basically everyone who crashed the economy in 2008, I went to school with all of their children. So